Hey everybody, welcome back. It's December 9th, and we are on number 98 of our Count Up to 500 Custom Ultimates. And now this one I've actually had, originally I was going to have him in a different attire, and then the figure came, and it was a very expensive figure, and it was not in the greatest shape, so that kind of bummed me out, so I decided not to do that. I scrapped the idea. Maybe one day I might look into a WrestleMania gear, but this one's decent too, nonetheless. This is not his WrestleMania gear. And apparently, according to people when they asked when he was with the company, Mattel said, hey, he just doesn't sell very well. So that is unfortunate because I always liked Chris Jericho. Now, of course, he's, got tons of figures with AEW. He's pretty much AEW lifer at this point. He's had some controversial stuff happening. So I don't see him. I mean, maybe he'll come back to be just our Hall of Fame induction. Depends on, how things are. Of course, Vince is no longer the company, but, we'll see. I think there's still Y2J fans out there. A lot of people want him to retire, of course, because, he's getting to the point where it's kind of not embarrassing, but just not up to the par we were used to anymore. But, he's going to do his own thing. He stays in, phenomenal shape for his age. So, anyway, not super difficult with this one. Stone Cold torso and arms, Jericho head, probably from his Legends figure, one of his earlier Elite figures, flashbacks. And then, of course, you're just going with that more expensive nowadays since they're rarer to get. But I think it's just like his defining moments, if I remember correctly. The original plan was to have the WrestleMania 19 attire, Jericho, which is way more expensive, because I actually saw him live at that WrestleMania. It's my only WrestleMania I've ever been to. It was just right up the road in Seattle when I lived in Oregon. And at the time, bittersweet day, I went up there to visit my grandfather. I'd only met him once in my life, and his wife, and my great-grandmother. And after meeting her, my great-grandmother, the night before, she passed away the next morning. We found her, and so to kind of cheer me up, my grandfather decided, hey, let's just have him stay for the rest of the week. I was supposed to go back like a couple days anyway. He goes, why don't you stay up here for WrestleMania, and then we'll send you back. So that's the only reason I got to go to WrestleMania. Cool thing was I was on floor seats, on the floor. I was 2 rows behind the stage by the Limp Bizkit concert that took place. Hanging right over, I was right underneath one of the hard cams, a swinging hard cam. So wasn't visible on the show, but I was there. And on a side note, Kane and Booker T's pyro cost me my expensive drink because when the pyro went off, all the soot and whatnot fell into my drinks. I didn't realize it was going to fall down on us like that. So yeah, very expensive cup of soda ruined right off the bat at WrestleMania. So very parched by the end of it. I wanted to get a title belt, didn't have the money. The person who took me, my grandfather, didn't want to go see it at all, so he had a co-worker from his job or his company he owned take me instead, and he bought a title belt. So, and then we had to leave the Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle match early to get to the ferry because apparently if we didn't get to the ferry, we were going to be stuck in Seattle. And we didn't live in Seattle. He didn't live in Seattle. He lived across the river or the lake or wherever it is in Washington. I think Silverton maybe. So just nostalgic pop on that one. So I want to build a Jericho like that one day, and I probably will. Right now I'm just worried about just building the quantity over the quality. So for now, this Jericho will remain in my Attitude Era kind of roster. I guess technically kind of Ruthless Aggression-esque era. But eventually I will just get that WrestleMania 23 or 19 Jericho made. Number 98, 2 to go till we get to 100.